Now time for our special broadcast on the ongoing hijab face-off, and Nabila Jamal is on the ground to bring you all the latest. Over to you, Nabila.
Right. Thank you very much, Pooja. In fact, I'm right here in Udupi. This is where the controversy kicked off, where we had a bunch of students insisting they wanted to wear the hijab, and now it appears the escalation has reached the High Court, and it seems like the entire country is watching for the judgment or a verdict to come out from the Karnataka High Court on whether or not you can wear the hijab inside classrooms. Now, as the chorus here grows, there's a lot of question about the authenticity of these girls, of these petitioners who've petitioned in court against this hijab ban. Now, a minor petitioner student has filed an application before the High Court to postpone the hearing of the case until assembly elections comes to an end. In fact, this plea requests the court to adjourn the hearing of the case until February 28, 2022, as elections are underway in 5 states, and the case is being used by parties for political gain and for polarization. Now, the High Court has, however, nixed the delay bid, saying that there is no reference from poll panel and the petitioners are not resident of the state witnessing those polls. BJP has now alleged that the hijab issue is linked to the ongoing assembly elections and has now called for the Karnataka hijab issue. In fact, they call it now entirely staged. Meanwhile, in several locations in Karnataka, including Mandya and Gadag, girls with hijabs entering classrooms were sent home. In Gadag, students who entered the classroom wearing the hijab were in fact brought right outside, which led to a heated argument, as we saw, and the police were forced to intervene. In Kalburgi, now students have decided to take online classes after they entered the classroom with hijabs yesterday and eventually were sent back. We're seeing this kind of growing animosity. Many students who are showing up at institutions wearing the hijab now, maybe worn it, they were probably wearing it earlier or not. But now it seems like that a more number of women wearing the hijab and reaching their college premises only to be allowed inside classes. In fact, the school and college management are refusing to allow them, and this has created quite some commotion now, with many of the girls who are sent back home now thinking of taking online classes instead of going to classrooms. Now, let me quickly cut across to our consulting editor, Rajdeep Sardesai, who spoke exclusively to the Karnataka Education Minister, B.C. Nagesh, on this entire controversy. In fact, the BJP government in Karnataka has been insisting right from the start that this is a planned conspiracy only to create some communal tensions. He further elaborated. Let's take a listen.
Today, sir, also in the High Court, the petitioner's lawyer, Mr. Kamath, said he claims that in 2 years, the school in Udupi where it all started, the college in Udupi where this started, was not enforcing the hijab code, only came in December according to the petitioners, and he claimed that the students were wearing hijab before that. This is where the issue, according to the petitioners today, seems to have taken a political turn, that this was rigidly enforced in Udupi.
If you want to real fact, why did, if the school was allowing hijab throughout for last 2 years, why did these girls went to principal and requested him to allow their hijab? Hijab is their religious practice.
Because they changed the rules.
Why didn't they give the application in December?
Sir, because
when the UP elections were about to be declared.
Sir, 1 minute. Are you in any way linking what has happened in Udupi to the UP elections? Are you telling me that all these protests have been orchestrated because of the UP elections, sir?
Yeah, definitely
Yes.
I am linking, because this same petitioner had argued, had kept one Mr. Ravi Orma Kumar, and Ravi Orma Kumar has appeared for this petitioner and asked that the judgment a verdict should come after UP election. What is the relation between these girls and UP election?
Now, even as we see this issue resonate across states, we're seeing growing protests in solidarity of these girls against this hijab ban. There are several politicians who have now finally reacted. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
उन लोगों को हम एक सलाह देना चाहते हैं जो लोग मेरे देश में बैठ करके हिजाब के हारर हंगामे से इस देश की संस्कृति, इस देश के संविधान, इस देश के संस्कार, इस देश की सहिष्णुता को अजाब बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो हिजाब के हुड़दंग को इस देश के लिए अजाब बनाने की कोशिश या साजिश मत करिए। ये देश जो है वो हम सबका है और हम सबकी सामूहिक जिम्मेदारी है।
कल मैंने कोर्ट में देखा कुछ लोग कुछ स्टूडेंट्स इकट्ठा होकर ये इलेक्शन कंप्लीट होने तक, रिजल्ट आने तक ये जजमेंट पेंडिंग रखना, जजमेंट इमीडिएट नहीं देना बोल के वो पिटीशन डाले। इनके पीछे CFI, PFI, कांग्रेस, SDPI ऐसे पीछे है कि एक मीडिया बन गए, उनके तरफ से वो पीछे लड़ाई कर रहा है। स्टूडेंट्स किताब पकड़कर जाना, हिजाब नहीं।
In this issue, CFI is involved, and they are doing it for the politics. Uttar Pradesh election is this, postpone this. I am asking, they are not even voters, they are 17, 16 years minors. Why are they worried about the Uttar Pradesh elections? So in this, it's clearly this one that is not their voice. That is not students' voice. I have a CCTV footage from 45 days from the December, and also photographs that they were not sitting in the classroom with the hijab.
See, central government is BJP government. State government is again the BJP government. All the intelligence report, all the details, all the information, they have got more than us. Now, let them clarify who is there, what is there. Unnecessary, let them not politicalize these things. I request all the senior leaders who are talking like this, please keep quiet for a few days. Let the situation cool down. Let the parents and children and management solve this problem. You leave it to them.
बीजेपी कर रही है सिर्फ चुनाव के लिए। ये जरूरी तो थोड़ी था। इतने साल से सब लोग हिजाब पहनते आ रहे हैं। अब स्कूल में और कॉलेजेस में पॉलिटिक्स करना, हिजाब इश्यू लेके आना जरूरी नहीं था। उनका एक ही इंटेंशन क्या है कि अब वो यूपी में ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, तो यूपी चुनाव और 5 राज्य में जो चुनाव हो रहे हैं उसका इफेक्ट वहां पर होने के लिए कर रहे हैं। और ये वो लोग सिर्फ बीजेपी सिर्फ पोलराइजेशन पॉलिटिक्स में बिलीव करती है।
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Tahir, who is the petitioner himself in the High Court. He's also, in fact, the lawyer of these Udupi girls who were the first to come out and champion this cause of allowing hijab inside government educational institutions. Tahir, thank you for joining us. Tahir, there's a lot of blame game and this growing chorus that the girls have been politically backed and they've been pushed for some kind of political gains and vested interest. What exactly is the truth? What happened? Were these girls really backed by the PFI? Is this more of a political movement and less of a cause?
See, from past 9 years, we already realized, everyone has realized, first to target anyone, they has to discredit that person. If the Kisans are there, they will say Khalistan. If Muslims, they will raise their voice, they say Pakistan. So this is the narrative is going on from so many years. Everybody is aware about it. See, this is not the issue of Udupi girls or students. I don't see that everybody is aware that the culture of Mangalore and Udupi side. Most of the girls used to wear hijab. And this issue is not first time it's coming up. Only this time what has happened is some people has taken a step and sought their constitutional right before the court. For that reason, only issue has happened. Otherwise, every year, constantly, one another school, same thing is happening. In the same school, even I have spoken to a couple of the old students, those have passed out from that college. They first sharing me the difficulty, whatever they face whenever they're gone for wearing a hijab in the classroom. Teachers themselves used to incite the fellow students to pull their hijabs. So these are the things. Most of the people used to compromise with the position. These girls had a faith on the system. For that reason, they said they came forward to assert their constitutional right. For that reason, only issues happen. Whenever the any part of India, they try to assert their right, they always face this kind of allegation. This is not the new allegation. People already stated that this is a Pakistan conspiracy, Bangladesh conspiracy, Taliban conspiracy. Everything
what
they
is
will bring
fact?
it in the conspiracy.
Tahir, what is the fact? In fact, yesterday, Tahir, if you can hear me, just yesterday the court questioned the petitioner's advocate, Mr. Kamath, on whether these girls were always wearing the hijab. We know that these girls joined the Udupi PU government college 2 years ago, and when college started off, we hear, and many of the students have said it in their accounts, their classmates, that these girls weren't wearing the hijab initially. So how did this all of a sudden become a protest and an issue for them? Were they really wearing the hijab when they joined college?
Madam, just please understand this. See, in first year, first PUC, which was there in the period from 20 to 21, hardly any classes were there. Even in academic year of 21 to 22, it has started very late from September. These girls from September, October, November, all these days they were wearing hijabs. In some classes, teachers used to include them in the class. Some teachers used to allow to send them out of the class. And somehow they were managing it. Because of all these things, in December, month of December, their parents went and spoken to them. When they went there, principal categorically stated them, now midterm exam is going on. After the exam, we'll resolve the issue. When they went again after the exam, they clearly stated that you already have signed, which you already shared in the media, that you have signed and consented with the uniform norms. Why you are asking all those things? See, basically uniform norms, everybody is signing, everybody do that. But if you see that one, there is nothing mentioned that there is hijab is there. But there is also one fact which I want to tell you. Nobody is aware about this fact. In PU board, in pre-university colleges here in Karnataka, department itself has given issue at guidelines, and guideline is getting issued from consistently from past 10 years. In the chapter 6 of the guidelines, very clearly stated that there cannot be any uniform in PU college. In spite of that, some colleges are enforcing the uniform. If department finds any such colleges, so strict action has to be taken against the college as well as authority. This is the position of the department. So what we had requested to the colleges from the day one, we have no disagreement with your hijab, with your uniform policy. Just allow us to use the dupatta which is there, this is a part of the uniform, to cover our head. Because it's not the question of uniform, it is a question of girls' security, modesty and chastity, and we know how girls are vulnerable, and it's an individual choice. You cannot say that one girl is not wearing, why you are wearing. See, one girl will wear pant, other one girl will say wear skirt, other one will wear Indian dress. So how you don't question them, why you are questioning these students?
Okay, no, you know what, Tahir, stay with us. I have with me Mr. Yashpal, who is the Vice President of the same Udupi PU Government College. And Yashpal has told us very clearly that these girls never wore the hijab in the start. But Tahir, you have a whole different point of view. Mr. Yashpal, why don't you tell us the truth? Were these girls wearing the hijab? Were these girls wearing the hijab in the start of the college? How did this turn into such a big political movement? Mr. Yashpal, can you hear me? Mr. Yashpal, if you can hear me?
Yeah, tell me, ma'am. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Yashpal, were the girls wearing the hijab when they came to classes first? How did this turn into such a massive controversy where we saw communal showdown all along Udupi region? Were these girls wearing the hijab first?
Actually, no, they were not wearing hijab. From the last 2004, as a normal student, they used to come to the classroom. But they have a pre-planned issue created by some other organization provoking that student.
Mr. Yashpal, I'm asking about these 6 petitioners. Were they wearing a hijab when they came to college initially 2 years ago?
No. No one. They were as a normal student till December 30th.
Okay, so they came to classes without the hijab till December 30th. Only then the agitation kicked off. Tahir, would you want to step in here? This is what the college management has been constantly saying, and also have shown proof. They've shown images.
At September, October, November, December, their right of wearing headscarf. Some of the teachers used to scold them and force them to remove the hijabs. Some of the teachers used to accommodate that. So these people are presenting that for the photos and video clipping where some teachers forced them to remove the headscarf. But there is also some instances when teachers allow them to sit in the classes along with the headscarf. This issue has taken an ugly turn when these girls has approached to the department. If you see my petition, they themselves has approached the departments on 30th December 2021. After that, only all this issue has started. Even I'll just tell you, I just want to point out very significant thing. Just for a moment, please see, all this issue was not there at all. Even this thing was there only confined to Udupi College. 29 January 2022, we filed a petition. Very next day, when the matter was listed in 1st February, matter spilled to Kundapura. When the next hearing has happened on 3rd February, matter has spilled to 13th district. When the hearing was there on 8th February, then on that day, entire state got burned. There was so much agitation, everything was there. Immediately, those who are not having any affiliation, they will start wearing a saffron scarf. Even there is a report that even video was shared, where how the person who is associated with the political party, he was inciting the students. And even I got information that 50 lakh scarf, the saffron
no,
scarf.
we see that. We see how the protests and the agitation caught on. Tahir, we saw that and we were tracking that. In fact, India Today was the first to report this right from the start when the controversy kicked off at the gates of the Udupi PU Government College. We saw how this caught on, but what we want to know is how it started off. And that's what's worrisome, because the court is now trying to establish whether these girls had an intention, had a mischievous intention before pushing for hijab inside classrooms, or were they always wearing it and they were forced by the management to take it off. Stay with us, Tahir, stay with us. Mr. Yashpal, again, the petitioner of these girls very clearly stating that these girls were allowed to wear the hijab in some of the classes did not allow. So they were managing and trying to toggle between a few teachers who allowed and took it off in those classes where teachers did not allow. Is that the fact?
See, actually, the advocate's view is listening to the student. Actually, I am associated with college from last 15 years. I know the fact what is going on there. Because being a lawyer, listening to his client, he'll submit his submission regarding that matter. But the real fact, he don't know what is going on in this college from the last 15 years. So better he would try to take all the documents produced to the High Court. He'll come to know. Also, the matter is pending before the High Court. I am being a part of the management. I don't want to comment because government have given the interim order. Being a citizen of India, we are educated. We should obey the rules and regulation. We should follow what the court will give the direction. So looking forward for the good decision.
No, we understand. The only reason, Mr. Yashpal, we understand and we totally respect the High Court's interim order as well and the High Court discussing this matter. But even the High Court has been asking whether these girls were wearing the hijab or not. You're saying no. Petitioners are saying very much yes. They were allowed to wear briefly. But then suddenly the rules became so strict, and then the government of Karnataka came out with a fresh order on the 4th of February saying all the more asserting that no kind of religious symbol, especially that cuts away from uniformity, is allowed inside classrooms, almost indirectly saying that hijab is not allowed. And that was a fresh order that came up on February 4th.
No, actually, our PU department formed the expert committee. Before the decision of that expert committee only, they have filed the application. That means also yesterday they have filed the application. Until the UP election result, they should not give any judgment. Means what is between election and this hijab? What is the connection? What is the connectivity between UP election and Udupi?
That's
hijab issue?
That's an absolute valid question, and that's what's left us shocked as well. One of the petitioners has petitioned in court asking for this judgment to be stalled until elections are over. Tahir, you know the petitioner. You have been spearheading it yourself. What is the purpose of stalling this judgment until the elections are over? Don't you think questions will raise on the authenticity of these petitioners? In that case, are you indulging in politics here?
Please understand that this fire has engulfed the entire Karnataka state, and you are aware about these political forces. They take advantage of this issue. Even you may hear, when you have visuals, how the politicians are raising up their issue and discussing their issue in political meetings. So with the found intention we had approached the court because we have filed 2 petitions yesterday. We don't want to delay the hearing. We filed 2 petitions yesterday. We filed 2 petitions yesterday. First petition application was, which is in respect of seeking permission to use the dupatta, uniform dupatta to cover their head, because it's not the matter of uniform, it's a matter of their modesty and chastity. That was the first petition. If we get any such relief in that, if court is agree, because these are the issue, because today we are fighting, today students are fighting, today's student will be tomorrow's teacher. If the divide will remain in their mind, you can expect that where the society will go. We have seen how young people get involved in the making of Sulibele app, Bulibai app, and clubhouse discussion. These things we are in front of us. So for that reason, we had made a first application to the Honorable Court. We already, the society are getting divided with this.
So Tahir, you filed that petition. You've moved court with that petition asking for the verdict to be stalled until elections are over.
Let me complete, Nabila. Let me complete. That was the intention to mitigate the damages. Then second petition was that second application, which is IA number 3, is very specific that the politicians are making use of this, and you know that in election, doing court hearing, the advocate used to do different kind of arguments to convince the court. Sometimes they compare the religious, and this the telecast of this entire hearing is going on live on YouTube. If you assume, you just take instance, just take an instance. If any discussion is going on, if I am doing anything argument in the court when I am comparing Hindu religion and Muslim religion, if anybody extract that portion and circulate in a media, in the poll-bound state, what message it will give? What kind of discussion Muslim advocate used to do about the Hindu religion? And it's vice versa also. So for that reason, to prevent them to take opportunity of all these things, we requested to adjourn the hearing till the election date. We don't want to till the election date, not just to prevent to prevent the politicians to hijack the entire issue for their political gain.
Tahir, what has ended up happening? What has ended up happening? Tahir, but what has ended up happening with that petition is that now it's looked at as a political move. That you are what are the petitioners got to do with politics here? If you really want a verdict out, let the verdict come out. What is it your business that any political party takes mileage out of it? Whether it is the BJP, the Congress, the PFI, SDPI, whoever is taking mileage off it, that's still a secondary fallout. Don't you want the girls to go to college and school? Don't you want classes to resume? Shouldn't the verdict be out at the earliest?
Madam, please understand. I told you first application was to dilute the interim order, to peacefully attend the remaining academic session. That was the first prayer. If that get admitted, then only the answer to the second prayer is third IA is required. If suppose first IA is not been admitted or not be accepted, not been appreciated, then there is no point of stopping the hearing. We were going ahead. And the second prayer we made it in the second application, subsequent application. Our intention was that you know that how the politics people are playing. Not only in Karnataka, entire world, there are people, entire India, they are playing politics. How these girls are getting targeted. So these things are this is a very consideration, and we've seen how things used to happen and how this political.
No, but Tahir, would you like to clarify? Would you like to clarify the PFI is a political party? The Campus Front of India is affiliated with this political party. They're trying to gain ground in the Mangaluru Udupi region. It seems like Karnataka elections also is coming up in a year's time. Do you think that this is a whole concoction of that? Do you agree that this is a politically backed move?
To malign their intention, to discredit.
No, but isn't it true that the PFI is backing them?
Day one, these attempts are going on, and media is also stoking this fire. That I understand that. That's leave it aside. I just wanted to make it clear, very clear. Mr. Yashpal is there. Mr. Yashpal is also aware that before they came to the court, they have tried with every aspect, with every authority. They have tried. Local leaders were involved. Local political leader was involved, social leader was involved, local Hukuta was involved. So as the other organizations were involved.
All right.
Finally,
well, Well, Tahir, thank you very much. We've heard you and we've heard your point. We heard what Yashpal had to say. Apologies there to Reshma. Reshma, in fact, has been pushing for hijab and personal choice inside institutions. But hijab, in fact, Reshma, we're going to take your voice soon enough. But for now, we're going to wait for the Karnataka High Court's verdict to come out. In fact, today the hearing begins at 2:30. We've heard what the petitioners' lawyers had to argue. There's also going to be the lawyers' argument on behalf of the state to come up today. Hopefully, we're going to continue tracking those developments. For now, thank you for watching.